Marriage is meant to be the joining together of man and woman to become one body in God. This is why Genesis chapter 2 verse 24 says, "That is why a man leaves his father and mother and is united to his wife, and they become one flesh." The reason for marriage and relationship in the first place is not just to have someone you want to spend the rest of your life with, but to have someone who loves you and he or she is ready to change your life for the better. The coming together of a man and woman is that they might multiply and bear fruit, which means procreation. Now there are so many means of procreation, but biblically, the husband and wife are the only ones legalized to have children, as they help not only to train them, but make sure they are responsible adults in the future. It is however so sad that most relationships and marriages today are enduring a lot of breakup and hardship. Marriage is not something to be endured, it should be enjoyed. Today, the reverse is the case in so many marriages, and this is because of the toxic nature of the marriage, ranging from incompatibility to fights and arguments, distrust, and commitment issues. God's will for you as a child of God, you need to have a godly spouse who serves as a helpmate and encourages you to serve God and fulfill the purpose He created you for in the first place. A result of ignorance, so many people have chosen the wrong path and have neglected God only to regret it later. Here are 4 signs of toxic people God wants you to avoid. Number 1. They are not committed and responsible. We live in a world where marriage is no longer sacred as it was before. Any Dick, Tom, and Harry can just choose to get into a relationship and get married for all the wrong reasons. They allow love and passion to rule their emotion and begin to regret the relationship after getting to know who their spouse is. One sign that shows a toxic partner is that they are not committed or responsible to you. This kind of person gives a whole lot of excuses for everything. They always seem to blame their incompetence on something or someone. They are not trustworthy, and hence you cannot trust people like this. This is one of the reasons you have to be careful in getting to know the kind of spouse you are in a relationship with, and if that person is worth having as a husband or wife. An irresponsible spouse would make an irresponsible father, or more, because they won't care about your needs or the needs of the home. While some can physically and financially take care of you, they might err when it comes to taking care of your emotional need. This kind of person flirts a lot and is not committed to making you happy. The relationship gets toxic because one or both of the spouses has become non-committed and irresponsible for the responsibility of the family and the home. This will surely lead to quarrels and arguments, and it only takes a matter of time before that relationship gets scattered. This is why you should always look out for signs of irresponsible or non-committed people when you are in a relationship. Number 2. They are insecure and do not forgive. This is one dangerous sign that shows you should immediately get out of such a relationship if you are in one, or abstain totally from it. Spouses with insecurity issues show that they are not mature emotionally enough to be in a relationship. The only reason your partner feels insecure about that relationship is that that person finds it hard to trust you as a result of his or her insecure nature, or because you have done something in the past to break the trust. If your partner is naturally insecure and always jealous of your every movement and relationship with others, then he or she is not ready for a relationship or marriage in the first instance. This is a relationship that you should run away from immediately. This kind of people will only succeed in making you feel guilty over your harmless behavior, and they are even open to blackmailing and torturing you emotionally. They were insensitive to your needs. For example, some men and women are the spouses of their conjugal rights, such as sexual intimacy. They use their position in the home to punish their spouse because they have and are willing to subject their spouses to hurt and envy. Trust is an important issue in any relationship, and so is respect. One major thing that all couples cannot do without in a relationship or marriage is forgiving one another. There are always going to be harsh words spoken to your spouse, and vice versa. And there is always a need to forgive and let go to let peace reign in the home. The most important thing about forgiving your spouse in a relationship is that it helps strengthen the bond and allows peace and tranquility in the relationship. A spouse that finds it hard to forgive and let go in a relationship is a toxic person because he or she would always hold on to the hurt and anger, which will eventually lead to strife and hatred, which would eventually ruin the relationship. So you must see God's face and run away from any partner that cannot forgive or shows he or she is not committed enough to your happiness. Forgiveness is always an important factor for any relationship to survive and last long. For any partner to have a peaceful and loving relationship, there should always have a heart of forgiveness, knowing that the fault might be from them or their spouse. Number 3. They are selfish and not sacrificial. Another sign of a toxic relationship is when you notice your spouse is selfish about his or her decisions in the relationship. They are not ready to let go of their own needs and wants for you. This type of person prioritizes their job, career, business, and family above you. They do not care about your own decisions and wants. These people are toxic and will be a problem to you in the nearest future. Don't be blinded by love to be in a relationship with this kind of people. If they don't rate you now, they would never rate you in the relationship. You must be in a relationship where you and your spouse too are ready to sacrifice your needs and wants for the happiness of your spouse and vice versa. This does not mean you should stupidly give up your goals and aspirations for love or your spouse. You and your partner should come to an understanding that whatever you both are sacrificing is worth it, and it is for the advantage of the relationship. Sacrifice shows you care and have a genuine love for someone. If someone truly loves you and is committed to you, such person is willing to sacrifice his or her seemingly needs to make you happy. They do this in the knowledge that you are willing to do the same for them. One of the most important things that should be given frequently is your time. The time you spend with your spouse helps you develop a strong bond and promote the happiness needed in the relationship. This is why it is important that you are in a relationship with someone who loves you and is ready to sacrifice their own needs and wants just to see you happy. To know who loves you, then they are ready to sacrifice anything for you to make you happy and trust that you would do the same to them. Number 4. They are manipulative and controlling. No one likes to live with a partner who is always controlling and manipulative, especially when it comes to the area of decision making in the relationship. When a partner does not want to listen to your views, especially when it comes to areas where joint decisions are needed to be made, they want to control everything about your life and would do anything to manipulate you. They are manipulative and conniving and would do all that is in their power to try to control every aspect of your life. When you begin to notice a partner that wants to keep you firmly in their grasp as a result of their insecurity, then it is a sign to let go of that relationship immediately. Don't allow anyone to box you in or manipulate you. Some partners are so toxic to the point that they are willing to manipulate and emotionally blackmail you for not conforming to their wills and desires. They do not have the love of God in their heart to love you. You must be careful not to fall victim to this kind of evil people who do have your best interest at heart. Some are just selfish and are only in a relationship with you because of what they stand to gain from you and not necessarily because they love you. Do beware and take time to study if your spouse is to be such a person and flee immediately once you notice such signs of toxicity in him or her. In conclusion, you must check the kind of relationship you are in and check if such a relationship really fits your personality and if you are happy in it. If not, then you should check for toxicity either from you or your spouse and try to amend your way or leave that relationship immediately.